everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm here today to share with you my reading plans for April. I have had a very unstable reading year, I would call it thus far, where I make plans and then I'm not able to really follow through with them the way I think. I haven't been reading as many books as I have in past years, and I've been trying to go with that. However, this month and May, I am reading for the BookTube Prize. If you're not sure what the BookTube Prize is, I'm going to put a link down below to the channel so you can learn all about it. It is basically a book prize that is ranked and rated by booktubers. And so I am participating in that this round for round 2. So I have 6 books that I need to read in the span of 2 months. Now that doesn't sound like very much, does it? However, I got nonfiction group D, and this group has books that are longer in it. So the first book that I plan to read from this group in April is We Don't Know Ourselves by Fintan O'Toole, and I'm going to be listening to this on audio. It is a 22-hour audiobook. So I felt like this might be the best way for me to consume this book because it's a little daunting to think about reading 600 pages. And I tend to, this book is a social history and a memoir combined, which can often be a sweet spot for me. But when we have historical dates, times, people's names, I find that type of information is better for me to consume on audio. I'm just able to get through it faster if I am listening to it rather than reading it physically. And it's also about availability and things like that, but I won't get into that in this video. I will be making dedicated vlogs for all of the BookTube Prize books that I'm reading for this round. So if you want to hear like nitty-gritty details of these books, please look for those coming out. They'll be coming out at the end of May. So the other 3 books that all of which are over 400 pages, I think. Oh, not this one. This one is not over 400 pages. So this is Dinners with Ruth, a memoir on the power of friendships by Nina Totenburg. I will be reading this one in April for sure. This is going to be the first one, the first physical book that I start, and We Don't Know Ourselves will be the audio book that I read. And then I also got out from the library because they were available. His name is George Floyd by Robert Samuels and Toluse Olorunnipa. And so I plan to read this month. And then Paradise Falls by Keith O'Brien, which is a environmental book. It's about an environmental disaster in the United States. And so those are my planned BookTube reads for April. Do I think I'm going to be able to read all of those this month? Like I said, they're all long. I don't know. So I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and hope that I get through those because I still have 2 more books to go in that list, one of which I have on hold at the library. It looks like it's a very popular one. So we shall see how BookTube Prize reading goes. Like I said, you can follow along on all of that in the vlogs later on. So to balance out all this nonfiction, I'm also reading Pistachios in My Pocket by Sareh Farmand. And she is a local to Vancouver poet. And this is a poetry collection that chronicles her immigration story with her family from Tehran in Iran to Canada. And she goes through her grandmother's stories, her mother's stories in these poems. I actually went to a poetry reading that she did locally here to hear her read some of these poems. So they are beautifully written, my type of poems. And I'm really excited to have these, to pepper these in between all my nonfiction reading for the month of April. And then my not booktube, my book club read with the Thrive Together network is going to be Artemisia, which is a novel by Alexandra Lapierre. And of course, this chronicles the life of Artemisia Gentileschi, who was one of the, arguably perhaps the most famous female Renaissance painter out of Italy. And this was translated from the French by Liz Heron. And so this is I read the foreword, which was written by the author, about how she came to write this book. And she very much was fascinated by the scholarship work done on Artemisia and her father, Hortensio, I think is his name. Orazio, Gentileschi, because one of the things that has become very apparent to art historians over the years is that a lot of the women whose names we now know in art history, whose names are being brought forth, had a father who supported them and gave them the education they needed to pursue these professions. So it's kind of a common thread, if you're looking back in Western history, of these women who happened to have a father who supported them, who then became, who gained the skills, who were able to pursue careers. So Artemisia had a very fascinating life. I know many of the points of her life already, but I think this book will bring a lot of those things to life for me, set the scene of Rome throughout her lifetime. And we're reading this together in the book club at Thrive Together Network. And so that is my reading plans for April. I, again, have no idea how this month is going to go. I'm really hoping to not have too much BookTube Prize reading that is hanging over my head in May, but we shall see. We shall see how much I get read. I think what I'm going to have to do is create a very strict schedule for myself in order to get these books read in time. Like I said, my reading in the first quarter of 2023 was very relaxed. I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself to finish things on, by certain dates. I didn't worry if I was carrying over a whole bunch of books. I just kind of let it go. And we had a big trip in March, so that also kind of changed my reading patterns. And so now that I am judging, I do have these deadlines. All these books have to be read by the 30th of May. And so I am just going to have to get a little schedule going and stick to it. I'm also going to be participating in Dewey's readathon, which is the last weekend of April, and that'll be fun because then I'll vlog that, and it'll motivate me to just read as much as I can that weekend. Okay, so I hope you all have a really great reading month in April, and I will be back again soon with another video. Thanks so much for watching.